Stop. Do not scroll past this. Chosen One, the frequency of your silent tears and the weight you have been carrying over the past few weeks have reached the throne room. This is not an algorithm guessing your pain, and it is certainly not a coincidence that you are hearing my voice right now. I know the exact heaviness sitting on your chest today, the feeling that you have been fighting an invisible battle completely alone and losing ground. Do not leave before the end, because the very reason you felt abandoned is about to be revealed. And walking away now means missing the exact validation you have been crying out for. You are exhausted. You have been genuinely trying to follow God, but instead of peace, you have been met with a deep, chilling spiritual coldness and a profound difficulty to pray. You have started to assume that God is either punishing you or has simply turned his back on you. I see you sitting in your parked car before going into work, staring blankly at the steering wheel. The engine is off. The silence around you is deafening, and you are trying to muster the energy just to say a simple prayer, but you feel completely blank and disconnected. You feel like a dying tree, losing its leaves one by one, terrified that the soil beneath you has permanently turned toxic. Every time you cried out into what felt like an empty room, every time you felt the sting of a door slamming shut in your face, every time you wondered if you had committed an unpardonable mistake, every time you dragged yourself out of bed with zero strength left, every time you chose to whisper his name even when your heart was breaking. Heaven documented it all. Before this message ends, you will understand exactly why the hardest and quietest season of your life had to last this long. You will discover the hidden spiritual obstacles that have been secretly draining your strength. You will learn the biblical pattern of divine delay and how it applies exactly to your current silence. You will receive the exact tools to break the cycles of guilt and spiritual coldness holding you back. And before this message closes, I'm going to speak a sentence directly over your life that will permanently shift the spiritual atmosphere of your home. Have you ever sat in that parked car, feeling this silent distance that weighs heavily on your chest when you try to pray, and you feel like your words are hitting a brass ceiling? And what if a cold voice whispers that maybe God has finally grown tired of your mistakes and walked away? But this coldness is not just spiritual fatigue, but actual signs of spiritual obstacles actively weakening your walk with God. Because while many treat this as just a passing phase you need to get over, few realize there are hidden blockages stealing your peace, your consistency, and your intimacy with the Lord. Now think with me. Why do you so desperately desire to hear his voice, but continue to hit this invisible wall? Are every interrupted prayer, every promise you felt was forgotten, and every wave of discouragement that hits you without explanation actually signs of a much deeper root? How long will you go on without carrying that heavy guilt, without the constant weight, and without accepting this distance from God as your new normal? It was searching for answers to this that this digital book was born, called The 27 Spiritual Obstacles That Weaken Your Walk with God. This book is not just a read, it is an awakening created for those who want to recognize the hidden blockages that are keeping your soul far from the presence of God. Strengthen your faith to break these cycles of guilt and transform your daily walk into a living, breathing communion once again. Many already feel that they need to return to God with more strength, but have not yet made the decision to download the digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But pay attention, there are only a few copies left of this digital book. Do not wait for another cycle of coldness and isolation to finally seek your restoration. Click now, download your copy, and discover the path to your restored intimacy. If you feel the call in your heart to return a portion of what you have been receiving here, there is an open voluntary donation link in the first pinned comment right below the book. Whatever amount fits in your hand today, whatever amount your heart points to, this is what keeps this channel standing. This is what makes the next word reach another chosen one tomorrow, exactly how it reached you today. I will wait for you there, chosen one. I haven't even told you the most important thing yet. Wherever you are right now, turn down the volume of the world for 2 minutes. What comes next is not information, it is recognition. I am going to describe exactly what has been happening to you in secret, and as I do, you will realize that your silent battle has been entirely visible to the throne room. The first sign is waking up in the middle of the night with a sudden, unexplainable dread about your future. I see you lying in bed in the dark at 3 a.m. The house is perfectly quiet. The shadows are stretching across the ceiling, but your mind is racing with a heavy, suffocating anxiety about time running out and promises not being fulfilled. It is not just insomnia or natural stress. It is your spirit detecting the friction of an obstacle trying to halt your progress in the spiritual realm. You called it abandonment, but heaven called it spiritual surgery. The second sign is a sudden loss of desire to pray or worship, replaced by a hollow emptiness. I see you kneeling by the edge of your bed at the end of an exhausting day, the room dimly lit by a single lamp. You fold your hands trying to summon the energy to just say a simple prayer, but your throat tightens, your mind goes completely blank, and you feel a chilling disconnect echoing inside. It is not a loss of your faith. It is a spiritual blockade deliberately designed to silence your authority and make you feel distant. You called it a punishment, but heaven called it a necessary extraction. The third sign is repeating a painful mistake or cycle right when you thought you were finally free. I see you standing in front of the bathroom mirror early in the morning, the harsh light reflecting your exhausted eyes as you splash cold water on your face, suddenly overwhelmed by a wave of guilt and whispering to yourself, "Why did I do this again?" It is not a permanent flaw in your character. It is a hidden spiritual root that has been exposed so it can be completely uprooted. You called it a repeated failure, but heaven called it the revealing of a hidden obstacle. The fourth sign is feeling completely misunderstood and isolated, even when you are surrounded by people. I see you sitting in a crowded room, holding a warm cup of coffee, nodding along to the conversations around you, yet feeling an invisible, heavy wall separating you from everyone else. It is not social anxiety. It is a divine quarantine required to protect your spirit while the obstacles around you are being dismantled. You called it a silent heaven, but heaven called it a season of intense preparation. Every tear of frustration, every moment of confusion, and every silent plea for help has been leading up to this exact threshold. The profound suffering you have been enduring is about to be completely recontextualized. When you finally understand the divine reason behind this delay, the scales will fall from your eyes, and you will see that the very things trying to break you were actually the instruments heaven used to forge your greatest breakthrough. If one of these signs landed in your spirit, write "I am free" right down below, not as a simple comment, but as your hand signing the decree that your spirit has already recognized. You thought the tree of your faith was dying, losing its leaves in the cold, but the violent tearing of the soil you have been feeling is simply the deep roots of a hidden obstacle being forcefully pulled up in order to save the entire garden of your destiny. I have two things to hand to you right now. One is the exact name of what has been draining your strength, and that is coming in just a moment. The other is the way out, which I am going to show you right now before the name. Because knowing the name of your pain without having the tool to defeat it only makes the burden heavier. Stay with me, because what comes next is the very first step of your restoration. Stay. And it is exactly this path that I hand to you now, before the name. Have you felt those four signs resonate deep within you, recognizing that suffocating pressure on your spirit when your prayers seem to bounce right back off an invisible barrier? What if that chilling whisper convincing you that your flaws have finally driven God away is actually a lie? And this exhaustion is not a natural burnout, but the undeniable symptom of dark blockages sapping your spiritual authority. Most people will tell you to just push through a dry season and get over it. But what if you are part of the few who realize that these unseen barriers are actively looting your peace, your discipline, and your communion with the Lord? Now ask yourself, why do you keep cycling back into the exact same spiritual rut just when you thought you were breaking free? Are every time your prayers get choked out, every time a prophetic promise feels like it expired, and every time a wave of heavy despair hits you out of nowhere, actually the symptoms of a much deeper, hidden root that needs to be diagnosed and removed? It was searching for answers to this that this digital book was born, called The 27 Spiritual Obstacles That Weaken Your Walk with God. This book is not just a read. It is an awakening created for those who want to recognize the hidden blockages that are keeping your soul far from the presence of God, strengthen your faith to break these cycles of guilt, and transform your daily walk into a living, breathing communion once again. Many already feel that they need to return to God with more strength, but have not yet made the decision to download the digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But pay attention, there are only a few copies left of this digital book. Do not wait for another cycle of coldness and isolation to finally seek your restoration. Click now, download your copy, and discover the path to your restored intimacy. And as I had told you earlier, Chosen One, besides the digital book that is in the first pinned comment, there is that open voluntary donation link right below the book. I continue without receiving a single penny for each word that comes out of here for you. And even so, they do not stop coming. That is why this link exists, so that tomorrow another person finds exactly this word that found you today. Whatever amount fits in your hand, whatever amount your heart points to, each gesture like this keeps our channel standing and makes the next message reach whoever needs it, exactly as it reached you today. I will wait for you there at the link, again, Chosen One. And now, with this path in your hand, the name descends. Without the tool to fight back, knowing the name of your battle would only crush you under its weight. But because you now hold the exact strategy to clear the blockages, the revelation of what you have been facing can finally be spoken over your life. There is a specific word in the original Greek text of the New Testament that defines the agonizing season you have been trapped in. The word is kathairo. Say it softly to yourself right where you are. Kathairo. For decades, many have misunderstood this word, watering it down to mean merely to prune or to clean in a gentle, pleasant, and almost peaceful agricultural sense. They preach it as if it is a comfortable adjustment, a light trimming of the branches, but that is not what you have been experiencing, is it? The true meaning of kathairo is violent. It means to cleanse by purging. It is the aggressive removal of what is useless or hindering, a process that requires a painful, deep cutting away of the very things that are draining your life. It is not a gentle sweep, it is a spiritual amputation. This is why heaven's message to you today is a profound acknowledgement of the intense pain you have endured. When you heard the words, "I am so sorry for this," it was not an apology for making a mistake. It was the Father's deep, compassionate validation of the agony of kathairo. God had to forcefully remove the spiritual obstacles, the toxic cycles, and the draining attachments that were silently killing your destiny. The excruciating pain you felt was not God leaving you in the dark. It was the sharp, precise scalpel of His grace saving your life. You thought the tearing of the soil was the end of the garden, but it was the only way to uproot the disease. I want you to see a man in Scripture who felt the exact same suffocating abandonment you are feeling right now. Picture Gideon, hiding in a dark, damp winepress to thresh his wheat. He is terrified, exhausted, and completely overwhelmed by the oppression surrounding him. He is convinced that he has been forgotten, crying out in the darkness, "If the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us?" He is completely blind to his true identity, paralyzed by the weight of a silent heaven. Just like you, Gideon interpreted his harsh circumstances, the endless silence, and the heavy oppression as absolute, undeniable proof that God had utterly forsaken him. He felt the exact same spiritual coldness, the exact same isolation, and the exact same confusion that has been paralyzing your prayers lately. This is exactly where you are right now. But look at the turning point. The angel of the Lord suddenly appears in that dark winepress, completely ignores Gideon's bitter complaints of abandonment, and looks him directly in the eyes, calling him a mighty warrior. The angel did not apologize for the hiding. He revealed the purpose behind it. The pain, the isolation, and the pressure cooker of that winepress were all required to expose the hidden obstacles. The altar of Baal in his own father's house that had to be completely destroyed before Gideon could ever step into his true calling, as we see in Judges 6:11-14. The season that felt like a prison was actually a training ground. The silence was not a rejection. It was the quiet before a massive commissioning. What you called a silent heaven, heaven called a season of intense preparation. And right now I hear the Father saying something about you that I cannot silence. He says, "My son, I know how much the silence hurt. I saw every tear you hid from the world when you thought no one was looking. I was holding the scalpel and I wept with you through the surgery, but the breaking is over. The building begins now. Come back to me now. Breathe. There is a man who stood exactly on this threshold where you are now. He had spent years serving faithfully, only to find himself in a devastating season where absolutely everything broke down. His finances froze, his closest relationships fractured, and every time he tried to pray, his words seemed to hit a solid brass ceiling. He wept alone in the dark, constantly asking God why he was being punished after trying so hard to do the right thing. But in the center of that absolute silence, he finally recognized the hidden spiritual blockages he had been ignoring for decades. The very moment he stopped asking, "Why me?" and started actively dismantling those obstacles, the floodgates of heaven opened, and the restoration he received was massively greater than his original loss. The deepest truth is still ahead, and it has your name on it. Now that you have heard the word, now that you have seen the parallel, now that you know exactly what is happening in the unseen realm, I need to call you by what you truly are. You are the purified. The pain you just survived was not a random attack. It was the intense fire required to burn away the attachments that were quietly suffocating your spirit. Heaven did not abandon you in that furnace. It carefully monitored the temperature until every false dependency was consumed. Because you are the purified, you no longer carry the heavy debris of your past mistakes. The cycles of guilt that used to keep you paralyzed in the dark have lost their grip on your mind, leaving your spirit clean, incredibly light, and ready to carry a much greater weight of glory. You are the restored. Everything the enemy convinced you was permanently broken or wasted during your season of silence is being called back to you right now. The years you spent feeling like you were wandering in the dark, hitting a brass ceiling, were actually compounding your spiritual authority in secret. As the restored, you are not just returning to where you were before the breaking began. You are stepping into a dimension of intimacy and power that you could never have accessed without the deep, surgical removal of those hidden blockages. What was meant to destroy your faith actually bulletproofed it. You are the vanguard. You were chosen to endure this agonizing spiritual surgery first so that you could become the breaker for your entire bloodline. The intense spiritual coldness you had to fight through was the enemy's desperate attempt to stop you from crossing the threshold, because he knows exactly what happens when you finally break out. Being the vanguard means you are the one commissioned to dismantle the hidden altars in your own history. Just like Gideon, you are the one who steps out of the cave first, carrying the torch that will shatter the darkness for everyone connected to your life. Stand exactly where you are and feel this. I see you stepping out of that damp, chilling cave of isolation. As you cross the threshold, the sudden, overwhelming warmth of the morning sun hits your face. The physical sensation of that heavy, soaked cloak of guilt and confusion is falling completely off your shoulders right now. You are taking your first deep breath in months, feeling incredibly light, and your chest is no longer tight. You are free. But what good is it to be called the vanguard if you still cannot see the remaining blockages operating in the dark against you? And how can you walk as the restored if, every time you try to move forward, a hidden trap pulls you back into that chilling distance from God, choking your prayers before they even leave your mouth? It was searching for answers to this that this digital book was born, called The 27 Spiritual Obstacles That Weaken Your Walk with God. This book is not just a read. It is an awakening created for those who want to recognize the hidden blockages that are keeping your soul far from the presence of God, strengthen your faith to break these cycles of guilt, and transform your daily walk into a living, breathing communion once again. Many already feel that they need to return to God with more strength, but have not yet made the decision to download the digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But pay attention, there are only a few copies left of this digital book. Do not wait for another cycle of coldness and isolation to finally seek your restoration. Click now, download your copy, and discover the path to your restored intimacy. The violent tearing of the soil you felt was never meant to kill the tree of your destiny. It was the final, brutal extraction of a toxic root so that you could finally bloom. I promised I would come back to one thing. I will. But first, There is something critical you need to understand about what arrives in the next 72 hours. I said I would come back to one thing. Here it is. In the next 72 hours, 3 things will arrive in your life, and none of the 3 are what they seem. The first tactic the enemy will deploy against you is the whisper of permanent damage. He will try to convince you that this agonizing season broke you beyond repair, that the spiritual surgery cut too deep, and that your spirit is now too fractured to ever carry the massive authority you just paid the ultimate price to receive. When that chilling thought hits you, you must immediately activate the decree of restoration. You will open your mouth and declare out loud that heaven does not leave ruins. It builds monuments. Every shattered piece of your peace and every stolen ounce of your strength is being violently reclaimed and multiplied right now. The second tactic is the illusion of wasted time. The enemy will try to make you deeply mourn the years you spent in the dark, whispering that you missed your divine window and that it is simply too late for you to ever recover the ground you lost during the silence. When that heavy wave of regret tries to pull you under, you must raise the shield of divine acceleration. You will declare that the God who owns time is condensing a decade of harvest into a single season, accelerating your steps so powerfully that what took others years to build, you will possess in a matter of days. The third tactic is the paralyzing fear of the next blow. The enemy wants to keep you anxious and looking over your shoulder, constantly expecting another devastating thing to happen, just as you finally step into the light and breathe the fresh air of your freedom. When that suffocating anxiety creeps into your chest, you must throw down the anchor of the sealed covenant. You will declare that the blood of Jesus has drawn an absolute, impenetrable perimeter around your mind and your family, and absolutely no retaliatory strike can cross the threshold of your home. But you must realize that these 3 weapons are just the beginning, because you are stepping onto an open battlefield where there are hidden obstacles you still cannot see. Ask yourself, what will you do when that sudden inability to pray hits you and chokes your words tonight? And what happens when the chilling thought that every prophetic promise over your life has been permanently forgotten finds you tomorrow morning? And when that heavy, unexplained wave of discouragement returns to drag you back into the cold next week, how will you fight back without the complete map of these blockages? It was searching for answers to this that this digital book was born, called The 27 Spiritual Obstacles That Weaken Your Walk with God. This book is not just a read. It is an awakening created for those who want to recognize the hidden blockages that are keeping your soul far from the presence of God, strengthen your faith to break these cycles of guilt, and transform your daily walk into a living, breathing communion once again. Many already feel that they need to return to God with more strength, but have not yet made the decision to download the digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But pay attention, there are only a few copies left of this digital book. Do not wait for another cycle of coldness and isolation to finally seek your restoration. Click now, download your copy, and discover the path to your restored intimacy. Subscribe to this channel, not just to follow content. Subscribe so that the next word the Father has prepared for you finds you without delay. There is a sequence being released, and you will not want to miss the next threshold. Now breathe. Everything that was delivered needs to be sealed. Wherever you are right now, do not move. Just pause for a single moment. If you can, close your eyes. Place one hand over your chest. Take one slow, deep breath. I want you to see yourself standing in the damp, chilling air of a dark cave. You can feel the rough, freezing stone beneath your feet. This cold cave represents the season of deep isolation, the agonizing silence, and the profound pain you have been trapped inside for so long. You have been wearing a heavy, soaked cloak of guilt and confusion that has been weighing you down, making every single step feel impossible. But right now, I want you to see yourself taking a step forward. You are stepping over the threshold, out of the shadows, and into the blinding, overwhelming warmth of a new dawn. As the morning sun hits your face, something incredible happens. That heavy, soaked cloak of guilt and confusion simply falls off your shoulders. It crashes to the ground behind you. Suddenly, you feel incredibly light. Your chest is no longer tight. You are breathing deeply, taking in the fresh air of your freedom. This is not just a metaphor. This is the exact spiritual reality taking place over your life right now. I release over you the permanent removal of the heavy burden of false guilt. The cycle of condemnation that kept you questioning your every move is permanently broken, and you will no longer carry the weight of mistakes that heaven has already washed clean. I release over you complete healing from the trauma of the silent season. The deep spiritual wounds caused by the agonizing coldness and the deafening silence are being bound up, and your ability to trust the Father's voice is fully restored. I release over you the absolute destruction of the fear of being forgotten. The chilling whisper that convinced you that God had turned his back and moved on to someone else is silenced forever by the roar of his perfect love. I release over you absolute freedom from the illusion of abandonment. The lie that you were fighting this invisible battle completely alone is shattered, and your spiritual eyes are opened to see the massive angelic backing that has surrounded you this entire time. I activate the purified within you. You are stepping forward completely clean, stripped of every false dependency, ready to operate in a dimension of holiness and clarity that the enemy can no longer contaminate. I activate the restored within you. Every single ounce of spiritual authority, peace, and intimate communion that the hidden blockages stole from you is being aggressively called back and multiplied right now. I activate the vanguard within you. You are no longer the victim of your bloodline's history. You are the one commissioned to shatter the darkness, carrying the torch of freedom for everyone connected to your life. Do not say amen yet. We are not finished. Stay with me. I place a wall of protective fire around your mind. No weapon forged against your peace will prosper, and the suffocating anxiety that has been tormenting your nights is permanently broken at the threshold of your thoughts. I place a wall of protective fire around your family. No weapon forged against your home will prosper, and every retaliatory strike meant to disrupt the harmony of your household is completely disarmed before it can even form. I place a wall of protective fire around your future steps. No weapon forged against your divine calling will prosper, and the absolute clarity you need to walk in this new season is descending upon you right now. And now, I will step out of my voice for a moment, because the Father wants to speak directly over you. My son, I saw you sitting in your car staring blankly, trying to muster the strength to pray, but feeling completely empty. I felt the exact weight pressing on your chest when you believed I had turned my back on you. I saw every tear you hid from the world when you thought no one was looking. You thought the silence was a punishment, but I was standing right beside you, holding the scalpel, weeping with you through the surgery. The intense coldness you felt was not my departure, but the sheer force of my hand pulling out the toxic roots that were slowly killing your future. I had to let you feel the tearing, so you would never try to plant those same destructive seeds again. The agonizing weight you endured was never about forgetting you. It was about protecting you. I kept you hidden in the dark so the enemy could not see the massive authority I was compounding inside your spirit. The breaking is entirely over. The building begins now. Step into the light because the season of your intense preparation has finally given birth to your commissioning. We break the whisper of permanent damage, declaring that your spirit is completely healed and fortified. We shatter the illusion of wasted time, decreeing a supernatural acceleration over everything you thought was lost. We dismantle the paralyzing fear of the next blow, anchoring your mind in the absolute security of the sealed covenant. Listen to the decree of heaven over your life today. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. Hear it again, deeper into your spirit. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. Let it shake the ground beneath your feet as you rise. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. Do not say amen yet. Sit in this wait for one more minute, because there is one last thing that needs to be delivered. I saw you sitting in your car, staring blankly, trying to muster the strength to pray, but feeling completely empty. And what will happen when what was sealed here today is violently tested in your very next challenge? How will you protect this new freedom and sustain your spiritual authority if those hidden blockages continue operating in your blind spot, waiting for the perfect moment to pull you back into the cold? Now think with me. It was while seeking answers to this that this digital book was born, called The 27 Spiritual Obstacles That Weaken Your Walk with God. This is not just information. It is your essential armor to identify every remaining barrier, seal your restored intimacy, and walk completely unhindered in the presence of the Father. Many already feel that they need to return to God with more strength, but still haven't made the decision to download the digital book. Download it right now. It's available in the first pinned comment, but pay attention. Few copies of this digital book remain. Click now, download your copy, and discover the path to your restored intimacy. And still in this video, Chosen One, before I seal this hour with you, I come back one last time to this request. You followed with me all the way here. You crossed every word, every decree, every sign. And if at any moment of this message you felt that heaven touched you, you know this video was no accident. The voluntary donation link remains open in the first pinned comment right below the digital book. Not as a charge, not as an exchange. As the chosen ones return to the altar from which the word came. Any amount your heart points to, and heaven sees every gesture. Heaven sees, and heaven multiplies over your house, over your days, over what you don't even know yet is coming. This was my last request. I'll see you there, chosen one. You are not standing on this threshold alone. Right now, there is another man halfway across the world who felt the exact same crushing silence, who wept in the dark just like you did, and who is stepping out of the exact same cold cave today. You are part of a massive, invisible wave of chosen ones who endured the agonizing spiritual surgery of purification and are now being mobilized to shatter the darkness in their bloodlines. Before closing this screen, send this to a specific person who you know has been carrying a heavy, silent burden and needs to know they have not been abandoned by God. Tell them they are the vanguard and remind them that the link to the 27 spiritual obstacles is in the first pinned comment, waiting the same way it waited for you. It's not your favor, it's service. And heaven sees. My son, the silence is broken. Now let the earth hear your voice. Now, you may say Amen. This word is complete. What was declared has been declared. What was sealed has been sealed. Walk well, chosen one.